There's something deeply comforting about leisure, the idea that we've earned a break, that we can relax in a hammock, float in a pool, roast marshmallows by the campfire, or scream ourselves hoarse on a roller coaster without worry. But just beneath the surface of these innocent pleasures lies a creeping, unspoken truth. Many recreational spaces double as breeding grounds for germs, parasites, fungi, and opportunistic bacteria. The infections of leisure, as it turns out, are as real as the fun, just significantly less Instagrammable. Let's begin with the classic symbol of carefree summer, the public park. Whether it's a city green space or a sprawling national campground, these environments bring people closer to nature, and with it, to ticks, mosquitoes, and zoonotic pathogens looking for a warm host. Ticks can transmit Lyme disease and Rocky Mountain spotted fever, especially in wooded or grassy areas where families lay out picnic blankets like welcome mats. Mosquitoes, meanwhile, show up at dusk to ruin your barbecue and, on bad years, bring gifts like West Nile virus or even dengue fever in warmer regions. And don't forget the humble raccoon, which may look like a masked picnic thief, but can be a vector for roundworm larvae, contaminating soil or sandbox areas where children play. So while your toddler builds a sandcastle, they could also be unwittingly reenacting a parasitic transmission cycle, the only thing worse than stepping on a Lego. Public pools and splash pads, as we've explored before, are practically case studies in microbial overachievement. A hot summer day might draw hundreds of people into a single pool, and with them, a soup of sweat, sunscreen, saliva, and the occasional uncontained incident. Cryptosporidium, the chlorine-resistant parasite behind explosive diarrhea outbreaks, doesn't care how much chlorine you dump in. The more bodies in the water, the more chances it has to spread. Splash pads are especially deceptive. They don't look like pools, so parents may assume they're cleaner. In reality, many use recirculated water and have the added benefit of being actively sprayed into faces, noses, and mouths. If you've ever wondered how norovirus gets airborne, look no further than that rainbow mushroom sprinkler your kids just licked. And then there's the campground, a seemingly wholesome retreat into the wild. But out here, everything from contaminated well water to improperly stored food can turn your rustic getaway into a bacterial boot camp. Campers cooking over fire pits without hand-washing stations nearby are basically running a field experiment in E. coli transmission. Shared outhouses and rivers used for both swimming and washing can further blur the line between hygiene and habitat. Add in open wounds, bug bites, and questionable lake water, and you've got a recipe for infection that no amount of trail mix will fix. Bonus threat: giardiasis, also known as beaver fever, a protozoan illness spread via feces-contaminated freshwater. It doesn't care if you filtered it with a sock and boiled it for 12 seconds. Giardia laughs in the face of half measures. Even amusement parks, with their manufactured thrills and cotton candy innocence, are not immune to the microbial underworld. Handrails, ride restraints, arcade buttons, and communal VR goggles serve as high-touch surfaces shared by thousands. One study of roller coasters found traces of respiratory and skin flora from multiple people on every surface swapped. Translation: you're not just sharing a seat, you're swapping bacteria. Water rides come with the added feature of splashes to the face from water that may or may not be disinfected regularly. Add in food courts, questionable churros, and the occasional unsupervised child touching everything and licking half of it, and you've got a microbial carnival that runs even after the park closes. Of course, the risk of serious illness in any one of these places is relatively low, but that's precisely why they're so insidious. They lull us into a sense of safety because they're designed for relaxation, not biohazard containment. We think of leisure as the absence of danger. But what if it's actually the perfect camouflage for complacency? The good news is that you don't have to become a germophobic recluse to enjoy your leisure. You just need to approach it like a slightly paranoid public health professional. Carry hand sanitizer like it's a weapon. Shower after swims. Never drink directly from streams, even if a shirtless guy with hiking boots tells you it's all natural. Don't let your kid sit pants down on the campground log without checking for ants, ticks, or invisible raccoon poop. And maybe, just maybe, avoid licking the amusement park railings. We're looking at you, toddlers. Leisure is still worth pursuing. But as with everything else in life, the fine print matters. Sometimes, the biggest risks hide in the places we feel most at ease. So yes, roast your marshmallow. Float down that lazy river. Scream on the coaster. Just do it with both eyes open and maybe a pack of antiseptic wipes in your back pocket.